The Whites were once a content, happy family until the monkey's paw disrupted their lives. Reminiscent of the biblical story of Adam and Eve and drawing parallels to the cautionary tales of Arabian Nights, W. W. Jacobs' short story, The Monkey's Paw, serves as a profound warning. Be careful what you wish for, and the dangers of tempting fate. The story revolves around a mysterious cursed talisman, a monkey's paw that symbolizes greed, granting the owner everything they could possibly wish for. The story unfolds on a cold, windy night at the Whites' residence. Mr. White and his son Herbert are playing chess when Sergeant Major Morris, an old friend who spent 21 years in India, visits the White family. Over glasses of whiskey and amidst tales of far-off lands, Morris shows them a dried monkey's paw, explaining that it was enchanted by a fakir to grant 3 wishes to 3 different men. He warns that those who interfere with fate do so to their sorrow. Morris shares that he has already used his 3 wishes, with the previous owner's final wish being for death itself. He attempts to throw the paw into the fire, but Mr. White retrieves it, dismissing the ominous warnings as nothing but superstition. Morris warns Mr. White that he already has everything he needs, but alas, he gives Mr. White the paw, urging him to wish for something sensible. After Morris departs, Herbert jokingly suggests his father wish for £200 to pay off their house. Mr. White makes the wish, and the paw twisted in his hand like a snake. The family laughs it off and retires for the night. However, Mr. White sits alone in the dark, gazing at the dying fire and seeing faces in it. The next morning, the Whites continue to joke about the magical paw and the fact that no money has arrived. Herbert heads to work. While Mrs. White still doesn't believe in the paw, Mr. White is confident that the paw moved in his hand and recalls that Morris said that the magic of the monkey's paw happens so naturally that you might, if you so wish, attribute it to coincidence. At dinner, Mrs. White notices a mysterious man outside who appears to be trying to make up his mind to enter. Mrs. White guides the man out of the cold wind and into the house. He introduces himself as representative of Ma and Megan's, the factory where Herbert works. He explains that Herbert was caught in the machinery, implying that he died gruesomely. The company would disclaim all responsibility, but in consideration of Herbert's services, they present the Whites with compensation: £200. The Whites bury Herbert at a large cemetery 2 miles away. 10 days after Herbert's death, the Whites struggle to cope with their loss. One night, Mrs. White awakes suddenly and screams, "The paw! The monkey's paw! I want it!" Realizing that they still have 2 wishes left, she forces her husband to retrieve the paw and wish for Herbert to be alive again. Mr. White, horrified, imagines what Herbert looked like when he died. Mangled beyond recognition and only identifiable by his clothing. He objects, calling her mad and insisting that the whole thing is a coincidence. But Mrs. White persists, screaming at him to make the wish. In fear of his wife, Mr. White obeys, retrieving the monkey's paw and raising his hand, saying, "I wish my son alive again." Mrs. White peers through the window, searching for Herbert, and when nothing happens, Mr. White is relieved, and the 2 crawl back into bed. They lay in silence, listening to the ticking of the clock. After some time, Mr. White goes downstairs for a candle, but at the foot of the stairs, his match goes out. When he pauses to strike another, a quick knock sounds from the front door. Mr. White runs back to the bedroom, but the knock grows louder. Mrs. White, hearing the knock, runs towards the door. She struggles to unlock the bolted door, calling for Mr. White's help. But instead, Mr. White is on the floor, frantically searching for the paw. When Mrs. White manages to unlock the bolt, Mr. White finds the paw and frantically breathes his third and last wish. The knocking ceases suddenly, and when the door opens, there is nothing but a cold wind and a quiet, deserted road.